Hey, what's all to the connects out there in high vibes? In today's video, I just want to talk about, the trolls, the haters, the agents, the ego, a lot of the things that, that the ego, all the things that it tries to do to make you, get disconnected, to get you off your path, And this goes with the trolls, the haters, and all the people that will just like try to come into your life basically to, get you to be off your path instead of you actually being on your path. See, if you actually just start to pay attention to a lot of the things that even the comments like and any of the YouTube or any of the Connects YouTube channels and stuff like that, if you go and look and sometimes and stuff like that, people go and post comments that are like completely, you know, just rude and disrespectful and stuff like that, and they know it and stuff like that, of course, because they're just trolls and agents stuff like that. But just think of this, think actually spark that consciousness within you. It's like, all right, so why would this person need to come and basically say all this stuff? Why would they need to do that? It's because it's the ego. It's the mentality of the ego and what it tries to do to get people persuaded, to get people off their path basically. And that's what like a lot of these agents do. They come in with the ego, that ego mentality, and all of a sudden, they're trying to, manipulate you and get you to do things that you normally wouldn't do as a spiritual person. But when you're in your higher self and things like that, you're not going to be doing, low vibrating things that you normally, wouldn't do, like when you're in your higher self, basically. But uh, in all of the times, all the ego wants to do to you, and the ego's perspective is to bring you into a state where, you're constantly wanting something. You're always trying to search. You're always trying to expect something. It's always trying to give you all these different types of thoughts within your mind and things like that to create, excuse me, to create all these blockages within yourself. See, when you're with spirit, when the time is right, the things will come into your life basically, at the right time. If you need a dollar, that dollar might appear at the right time that you need it to appear, and then then you give back to spirit. That's why you put in 100%, so that way you get 100% back. Just don't do it with the expectation that you're gonna get something back, because spirit's gonna know. If you sit there with the expectation of, all right, I'm gonna do this so I can get this, do it from your heart. Do it from who you truly are as a spiritual person, not as being egotistical and things like that. Watch how your life starts to change when you start to do things from your heart, when you start to give from the heart, when you start to do things based off the heart, not just off fear or out of the ego and stuff like that. It's like of course you got to use your mind and stuff like that, of course. Be logical about things. You can't always just be about love and stuff like that. Of course, someone's being mean to you and trying to be an asshole. Protect yourself. Use that fiery love. There's tough love and there's real love. There's compassionate love and then there's tough love, and there's that love that you have for everybody. But when you put that tough love, people may think that it's you're trying to be mean to them or something like that, and then all these different types of stuff. But don't let these trolls and these haters. And oh yeah, that's another thing with the bullies too. The ego's just looking for certain things to get it to fuel its own needs and wants. But it's like, when do you get the need to feed your spirit basically? Because you got to feed the spirit just like you got to feed an animal that's inside your house. You got to take care of your spirit. You got to make sure that it's cleansed up, that it's right with the right energies, because we can't be having your spirit being all dirty. You got to make sure that it's clean. It's like, imagine driving a car and the windshield wipers are you don't have windshield wipers and you're driving blindly. This is what these agents try to do. They try to make you blind from seeing the truth, because then they can always take advantage of people. It's like, would you want someone robbing you and just taking your cash? It's like, I guaranteed anybody out there, if someone came up to you and tried to rob you of your cash and shit like that, you would let them take it? I don't think so. So why is it that would you let someone take your spiritual energy, the thing that gives you vitality, life, the thing that allows you to live and grow further in your life and expand in consciousness and see things from a different perspective? Why let people rob you of that? Why let people rob you of the experience of a lifetime, which is now? Now is the time for the basically turning up in your life. It wasn't yesterday or the day before. It's basically is now. This time is now in this reality and stuff like that. It's like, take charge in your life. Be a strong-willed spiritual being. Have that fiery passion within inside yourself, and Make sure you don't let people push you over. Make sure that you stand your ground when people are trying to, make fun of you or anything like that. Because once you get a certain confidence within yourself, like I've said in one of my last videos, I know I haven't posted yet. It'll probably be for a little bit because I'm going through a transition of my own. But well, yeah, lots of stuff going on. But basically, you gotta make sure your chi's charged. I'm gonna keep promoting that because it's so true. Ever since I started to charge my chi and stuff like that, I have gotten my energy a lot higher, and it definitely helps out against a lot of things, because you need that energy. You need the energy to protect yourself and to stay motivated in your life, so that way you can continuously vibe high. It's like just like with your cash, right? So say you have a bunch of money, right, and someone comes and robs you, right, and then you're left with nothing, and you can't buy food, you can't do this, you can't do that. Same thing goes with your spiritual energy. Your spiritual energy is like a non-physical cash. It's electricity, it's current. And that's how people can use that energy basically to manifest and make themselves feel better about themselves with that energy, because that energy makes you feel good. When you have that type of vitality and chi and ki within inside you, you do feel good. It's like, imagine if you're out in the sun, for a really long, good period of time. Not too long, but just enough in a balanced manner where you're charged up and you're like, man, I feel good and stuff like that. If you go and actually start to apply what we say at RTM or any other the Connects YouTube channels and stuff like that, you'll see how basically when you start to get charged up, how people will start to come in your life and try to rob you of that energy. People will try to get you to do things for them. They'll ask you, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? But it's not always something a bad thing, but you'll notice how people will try to get you to do things that they can easily do, but yet they'll try to make you do it because you have the energy. They'll tell you, oh, go do this real quick or something like that. Can you go pick this up for me or do this for me? Anything that deals with an energy exchange, because there's a lot of energy exchange taking place in this reality. People are always, words are exchanging energy. People, touching other people are exchange of energy. Be aware of that. Imagine if your energy gets really high, people might try to come up to you and start touching you with their palm to get on your back of your shoulder, might tap you and try to smile like, oh, hey, and all this stuff. They might try to give you a handshake. They might try to give you a high five. They're like, imagine if you haven't seen somebody in a really long time and out of nowhere, they're like, hey, man, how's it going? They put up their hand and they're just trying to give you a high five after you've been putting in the work spiritually. When you put in the work spiritually, then these people start to come around and they're like, oh, hey, hi. Or people that you try to cut off in your life, you'll see how they try to come back into your life and they'll try to start, making you do things that deal with getting that exchange of energy, because they're trying to get that exchange of energy. That's why when the agents are sending you that negative energy, they're trying to take away that positive energy that can do stuff. That's why, some people, they want to perform telekinesis and do all these type of things, but they can't do it because they don't have the practice or even the motivation or the disciplines to keep the chi within them and make sure they maintain shields. Just like in the last video that I just actually made, which, is another video that I will be posting eventually. But it's like, you got to be willing to put in the work so that way you can get the results. So that way you can, get the first-hand experience to the point where you're like, all right, now I know this shit's real. Now I know there are these agents out here and stuff like that are trying to vamp me my spiritual energy, because they know that my energy is high. And when I get in a high vibration, they try to take it, and stuff like that. It's like when I'm out in the Matrix and stuff like that, and my personal experience, it's like people would rev their cars right by me. It's like, think of it. Why would they need to, if you really think about it, okay, if someone's in a high vibration, right, why would it need to be a person would rev their car when they're right by you? Think about that. Why is it? They can rev their car anytime, wherever they are at, but specifically when they're driving by a person that's in high vibration to do that. Think about that. For real. Get your chi charge up and watch how this shit starts to happen in your life. You're going to see things from a whole different perspective. And so this is the thing that they're not going to want you to do, is really turn up in your life. They become afraid of you actually turning up. See, in all reality, they got you manipulated in your mind for people that are out there and stuff like that to believe that, none of this stuff is real, or, you can't do anything, or that, all this bunch of bullshit that's been programmed into your mind. So that way they can take advantage of you and you don't believe in it and actually put in the work, because you, like in one of my previous videos, you have the opportunity of lifetime, or you have, you're a limitless being, you're a limitless being that has the opportunity to do a lot of things. They don't want you to do that. So start getting the first-hand experience, start, turning up in your life, and watch how these agents will come around. These trolls will come around. you know, these demons, these vampires, these sex agents, these werewolves out here, all of them will try to come get you. Because you know why? Because your energy is high. Your vibration is affecting the physical grids. Well, the spiritual, mental, and physical grids, because you're making steps. You're changing vibrational frequencies within inside yourself, and each step that you do take is that step of energy, you know, because we all take steps. We have our first step, then our last step when we die, you know, through the physical and stuff like that. But so really turn up, for real, do that. You're gonna start to see how these agents will try to come around, you know, try to vamp you and all this type of stuff, because man, they'll try to get you fearful. They'll try to take that sacral energy, you know, that chi energy, you know, that can give life to give birth and stuff like that. That's why the sex agents will try to come in your dream, because they're desperate for your energy. That's why they got so many guys out there programmed to start fapping all the time and stuff like that, because they know if they can get a bunch of guys to sit there and fap and shit like that. Imagine, I know it's kind of fucked up, but imagine all the people that have this. People have like a spiritual chi inside them, but they're always just constantly, you know, giving it up all the time. You know, hundreds of thousands and millions of people doing this shit daily, you know, more than that times. And think of all the energy vampires that are profiting off that and actually taking that energy to manifest their, you know, this reality that they, well, the man-made matrix reality that is here right now. Think about that. Think about what they're doing and the things that they're trying to do. Some orange mushrooms. But anyways, you know, got to keep that chi charged, you know, all the time, because they'll try to take it. It's like you got to have the confidence inside yourself as a spiritual being, you know, man or woman, like I said in one of my videos. It's like you got to walk with that confidence. You got to walk with, you know, not too much confidence, but enough to, you know, where you're balanced and you can greet people and do things. And then you'll see how the agents will, you know, back off, but at the same time, they'll try to come get you at the same time. But that's all I want to say in this video, you know. Stay strong as a spiritual being. Stay strong as an individual and as a community. You know, no one can do this alone by themselves. We all have to come together as a spiritual family in order to do things on a higher level, basically. But that's all I want to say in this video, you know. Peace out with my heights of vibrations, you know, my full love shows are watching, and my gratitude.